What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beer Batter Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans, because we believe we're the most qualified people to talk about our favorite teams. I'm your co-host Isaac,
And I'm 40. Sorry,
and
my dog's barking.
no problem, man. Could be worse. You could be our other host and be missing in action, not telling us he was going to be late again. I just want everybody to know I send out the link to this like 30 minutes before, and yet Gnome somehow always misses it. So, and I know it sounds harsh. I'm going after him, but come on, man. Anyway, welcome to episode 106 of the podcast. Hopefully, Gnome should be joining us soon. We got a lot to talk about today. Free agency has kicked into high gear. Ton of big free agent signings. You can probably tell that Calvin's excited based on what he's got wearing right now.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Racing it.
But before we begin with free agency, because that's pretty much all we're going to talk about today, we got to do our usual segment, What's on Your Mind? And I want to start with this, Calvin, because I brought this up this morning in the group chat. And it's something that's been annoying me recently. Are we done with the 90s? Are we done with the 90s?
Absolutely.
If you haven't been following this trend, if you're not on TikTok, which considering that the U.S. Senate is about to vote to ban it, so its days are numbered. If you haven't been on TikTok, you probably didn't see this, but a trend has started in which a lot of younger basketball fans have started to realize, who have always been part of the whole LeBron versus Jordan debate, which I think has been settled by this point. I think we can all agree that LeBron has transcended. LeBron has gotten to the point where he's kind of transcended Jordan. And this is coming from a guy who loves Jordan. But a bunch of younger fans who have been watching basketball randomly decided, let's actually sit down and watch some 90s games, because all the old heads keep saying that the 90s were the best. And they did. And their takeaway was that the basketball scene in those games they watched, which were NBA Finals games, was so bad and so nothing like what it is today, that they've started this trend called #WeDoneWithThe90s, which basically is saying that, which has gotten to the point where people are saying the most disrespectful shit about 90s basketball players. It's gotten to the point where all over TikTok, you have basketball fans, basketball accounts come out and saying like, 90s basketball was horrible. None of these guys could play in today's game. All of them wouldn't even be able to qualify for the G League. We're done talking about the 90s. We're done talking about the 80s. None of these guys were all that good. There's no reason any of them should be in the Hall of Fame. None of these guys could play today. This is horrible. All these old heads lied to us. And I just think, frankly, it's quite plainly absolute bullshit. And it's absolute bullshit. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I mean, Calvin, you and I talked about this for a little bit. Are today's players better? Yes, obviously. They have access to way more than players back in the day did. You know, if you plopped most of today's players back in like a 90s game, would they excel? Would they probably beat the older guys? Yes, obviously. The game evolves that way. But so I am fine with the younger generation watching older games and being like, oh yeah, the guys today are way better, because in a way, yeah, you're right. But what we're not going to do is be disrespectful to them. What we're not going to do is say that Michael Jordan would never be able to compete or play on today's teams. What we're not going to do is say that Magic Johnson, Larry Bird don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because they weren't that good of shooters.
Michael Jordan had no left hand. I just found that out the other day.
Okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. He did not. That didn't stop him from being one of the best players ever. What we're not going to do is be disrespectful. I am really, really happy that younger people are starting to pay attention to NBA history, but they're coming away with it with the wrong idea. Instead of looking at it and saying like, wow, it's so crazy how the game has evolved, and showing like a reverence for the past, be like, yeah, these guys were the forefathers. They set the foundations that we built on. Their takeaway is, oh, all these guys are trash. None of them belong in the Hall of Fame. LeBron would crush all of them.
I mean, look, the game has tremendously evolved, but what they're saying about LeBron is 1,000% true. LeBron would have dominated the 80s.
Oh, and I'm not denying
those 90s guys, not even the 90s guys, because there's 90s guys that say LeBron would have dominated the 90s.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Michael Jordan and his fans think that LeBron would have dominated the 90s.
And look, I agree with them. I am convinced that LeBron James would absolutely crush the competition in the 90s, because they are right about that. The competition level back in the 90s is not what it is today. Today the NBA is incredibly competitive. Players have access to better nutrition, better workout plans, better everything. And as a result, obviously they're going to be better than the older players. A lot of 90s players didn't have conditioning. They weren't following strict dietary plans. Dennis Rodman was going out after games and getting hammered every night. Does that mean he was a bad player? No. And the fact that you have all of these kids on TikTok going off about how, the 90s are horrible. It's like, no, guys. Yes, it's rough, but it's not the worst thing ever. Oh, well, look who finally decided to show up 6 late.
Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit under the weather because I seem to be whenever we do the podcast. I'm just sick. I'm sick all the time.
Yeah. Well, you're getting flamed already in the chat by some people.
What?
And your fan club has already shown up too. Oh man. Welcome to the show, Gnome. We're talking about We Done with the 90s. You heard of it?
Yeah. You from earlier.
Yeah.
It's okay. I listened to your rant on the way in.
Oh yeah. I was
I want to know what 40's take on it is.
I don't really have a take. I mean, you know me. I always thought the 90s was trash. I didn't know what was spectacular about it.
I'm not an instigator. I just,
I think that it is its own unique form of basketball, and I think it should be appreciated like that. And I think that constantly comparing is bad for the sport. And listen,
I think the 90s were great. I'm a lover of sports history. I'm a big 90s fan.
By the way, if any of these kids want to go after okay, I saw somebody who did.
Hold on, sorry. We got breaking news right as you're saying something. Steelers are sending Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers.
Whoa! For what?
Whoa!
He wasn't a free agent.
It does not say right now.
Interesting.
Just tweeted from Adam Schefter, literally 2 seconds ago.
If you guys are here for a free agency, do not order. We are going to go over every free agency move. We will. I just want to make this one last point because I saw somebody make a TikTok about this, and he said, "Hey, if you think that these We Done with the 90s kids are going to be are going to stop after they've tried to discredit the 90s, it's not going to stop. They're going to start going after the 2000s soon." And somebody said something along the lines of, "We need to start making preparations because in 20 years these kids are kids are going to be like, man, LeBron James wasn't shit. No one back in the 2010s, nobody back in the 2010s was really playing real basketball." He's like, we got to start gassing the fuck out of the 2016 finals because they're going to start coming from like they've been coming for the Jordan finals.
Hot take. What a fucking horrible take.
That was something I saw from somebody.
Whoever TikTok that was. Time moves on. That's a natural thing. New fans are always going to be
breaking news, guys. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Eagles re-signed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Well,
wow.
Eagles signed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He's going back to the Eagles.
Why the fuck would they do that? Didn't they have enough the first time? All right, whatever. We'll get to that in a minute.
Million.
Oh yeah,
what?
I got every team. I have every team pulled up for free agency. We're gonna go over every team. It's going to be crazy.
Sorry, let me finish my point real quick.
Yeah.
Sports. Time moves forward all the time. Obviously, people are always going to be more fond of the era that they're more familiar with. So yes, there's sorry to that TikToker. There is no preventing them in the future from saying LeBron trash. Whatever.
No.
Like, it's just some people are way too concerned about the opinions of idiots.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit if some kids are saying that online? So what? Okay, they don't. Yeah, I see you, Isaac. Yeah, okay, those people.
Bad habit. Leave me alone.
Know how great, how great Jordan was. Yada yada yada. Like whatever. Who cares? And then
I'm not putting.
It's not our job to change their fucking minds.
I don't know who that was in the comments. I'm not putting that on screen. We are not doing that. Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
I just saw the comment my damn self. What is going on?
Oh man. Well, half of the comments are praising Gnome because I don't know what it is, Gnome, but whenever you come on the show, like the comment section blows up and everyone like just wants to gas you up.
Most of those seem to be haters, let me be honest with you. Like I got love from one person, and also
I don't know what
disappointment.
you did to this guy, but like apparently he wants to square up with you.
He's here every episode. He's a troll. He's here every episode. All he does is shit talk me the entire podcast.
That's great, man. It gets clicks. I don't care. You guys have anything on your mind? Non-free agency related, because we will get into that, because there is a lot of there's a lot of free agency that we're going to get into, but I'm curious if you guys have anything on your mind that's not free agency related.
No.
No?
No.
No?
I would like to be healthy again. That would be great.
Perfect. With that being said, free agency.
Sorry. I said not really, but the thing I was muted for a second. My bad. I don't really have anything on my mind, but I did see earlier that two bozos are linking up to be on TV together. Skip Bayless and Paul Pierce.
Wow, that just dampened my mood a little bit.
That seems like I'm gonna watch every episode of that.
Wow. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I like it.
Well, Paul Pierce, think about it. Paul Pierce is the truth, and all Skip Bayless does is lie. So it's like you get both sides of every argument.
The most LeBron hatred in America.
Oh yeah,
Oh
110%. Oh yeah.
I'm
watching every episode of that. It's gonna be entertaining as hell.
Free agency has begun. Every team has made moves. Almost every team. A lot of huge moves. You guys have probably seen most of them. We are going to get to the big ones. Boo, Skip Bayless. We all agree. Yeah, no one likes Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless lost me when his first reaction. Start there. Yeah, let's start. We're going to go team by team, but we're going to start with the team that's been making the most moves. And is so far the front runner for champions of free agency, the Washington Commanders, who have been going crazy in this free agency draft. Here's what they've done so far. I have the list up here. Pro Football Focus. First up, releases. They've released Charles Leno Jr., Logan Thomas, and Nick Gates. Here are their signings. 1-year deal for Zach Ertz. Don't know how much yet. 3-year deal for
6 mil.
What? 1 year, $5 million.
3-year deal for Dorrance Armstrong, $33 million.
Bad contract.
3-year deal for Tyler Biadasz, 3 years, $30 million.
Good contract.
Frankie Louvu, 3 years, $31 million.
Love it.
Solid contract. Yeah, I like it too.
Austin Eckler, 2 years, $11.43 million.
If he still got it, this is an amazing fucking deal.
Really good.
But he does still have it.
Brandon McManus, 1 year, $3.6 million. Hey, he's a great kicker.
Now they have a kicker.
Nick Allegretti, 3 years, $16 million. Enjoy him. He was really good on the Chiefs.
He was also really bad on the Chiefs.
That too.
But for that price, I think they got a good deal for him. I think that's appropriately priced. Good job, Commanders.
I don't think the Commanders are on. It's a new era of fail, but then again, it could be.
Man, they are throwing darts at a board, and we will see what hits. I'm all saying.
Edge Cleveland.
Look at that face.
Edge Cleveland Farrell, to be decided on how long or how much money.
Garbage. What the fuck are they thinking?
There's always one that you're like, okay, good.
I mean, he started over Chase Young last year. Yeah, he must have been good enough to start over Chase Young once Chase Young got to San Fran.
Fair enough.
Cleveland was dog shit his entire career.
Marcus Mariota,
where he was in a great system.
Marcus Mariota, he's the pickup. That tells me right there we're not going with Sam Howell next year. Marcus Mariota is going to be the mentor for whoever we bring in at number 2.
He's on a 1 year, $6 million deal. Yeah.
I got 40. I just want to say, I'm not sure. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I don't necessarily see that from this. I kind of think it could mean the other thing. They could be bringing in Marcus Mariota to try and push Sam Howell to try and compete with him, because to me they're about the same level of quarterback.
Or
I think Howell's a little better.
Or they could have seen what happened with Baker Mayfield and thought, why don't we bring in a guy who everyone thinks is washed up and see if he turns out good? I don't think that's what they're doing, but
no
it
way.
It could be.
All right. We had a good thing going that Isaac spoke. Ugh.
Shut up. Last 2 signings they made, long snapper Tyler Ott, 3 years, to be determined on the amount of money. And most recently today, safety Jeremy Chin, 1 year, $5.1 million. So the Commanders
you forgot Dante Fowler Jr. He's in there too.
Oh shit. Yeah, let me refresh.
I think Dan Quinn reunites with a player that he coached. He could be good. He wasn't great for the Falcons. He's never been great. He had a good year with the Jags once upon a time, but he was never great. We'll see what he can do, and we'll see what he can do here. You still got some pieces on that line, so this could be pretty good. But What do you think, 40, about Fowler?
I just learned that he has played with Dan Quinn every year.
Really?
Yeah. So
No,
where did he start? Jacksonville, right?
Jags, yeah, 2017.
And supposedly Dan Quinn was there.
No, he was the head coach of the Falcons.
Look, I thought the same exact thing, but somebody said to me that Dan Quinn was in Jacksonville and they pulled the shit up and showed me and everything. So I don't know if it was the year after he went to Jacksonville or 2017, but supposedly Dan Quinn has been with Dante Fowler his whole entire career.
That can't be true. Dan Quinn was literally the head coach of the Falcons from 2014 to 2018, 2019?
Something like that.
2020 even? That just can't be true. At least I don't think so. But I want to talk about Jeremy Chin a little bit. So their Commanders saw what the Ravens are doing with Kyle. Oh, dude, I fucking love it. I think that's the best signing, honestly.
It tells me we're not bringing Cam Crow back, which hurts my fucking heart because I loved Cam Crow, but Jeremy Chin.
They still might. That tells me the same thing. They're like, okay, the Cam Crow's definitely gone. But that being said, if you get him on a cheap deal, Cam Curl can kind of do it all. Like, he has a very versatile skill set. He just wasn't
putting both of them back there together would be absolutely kind of crazy because Chen can kind of play in the box as well.
Oh, for sure, dude. My take is they saw what Baltimore's doing with Kyle Hamilton and said, we want one of our own. That's what Jeremy Chin is. He's not that good, but man, he was almost defensive rookie of the year. Don't forget, this guy was fantastic and just played in terrible defense, but all around was a fantastic player. And I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see him on the Commanders, man. I hope he kicks ass.
I think the Commanders have made the move. The Commanders, I think, are up there with the Texans for the most most improvement after the first 2 days of free agency so far in terms of the moves they've made.
I'll be honest. There was one move that was made today that probably set that team to the next level over any other team. It doesn't matter that this is the only player that they signed. The Ravens signing Derrick Henry today is absolutely insane.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about the Ravens real quick, and then we'll go into the other teams. We just want to do our two hometown teams before. So the Ravens.
Yeah. Sorry. Before we get into it, here's the terms on the Deontay Johnson trade. Panthers received Deontay Johnson in a 7th round pick. Steelers received DB Dante Jackson in a 6th round pick. So they traded Dante for Deontay.
No, are you okay? I think Gnome just died. Hey guys, we killed Gnome. Oh no. Did we kill Gnome? Oh shit, we might have actually killed him. Is he alive?
The bullets and the bleeding.
Dang, he did. Yeah, moving on. Wow, that's tragic. Ravens, here's what they did. Re-signed Nelson Aguilar, 1 year, $3.75 million. Re-signed Justin Matabuki, 4 years, $98 million. Re-signed Malik Harrison for 1 year, and signed Derrick Henry to 2 years, $16 million. They got the king. He's going to the Queen City.
Honestly, how do you stop it?
I thought they already.
Everybody wants to joke around and say Derrick Henry's washed this, Derrick Henry's washed that. He's 30 years old and he's on like blah blah blah. How do you be realistic? Baltimore has a very high top-rated offensive line. Not only that, they have the quarterback that has the most rushing yards since 2018, and now have the running back that has the most rushing yards since 2018.
Big Ben deserves MVP.
No, are you good, bro?
Ryan Tannehill, though.
Stop quoting Gridiron Heights and talk about the Ravens. How you stop them, 40, is the Ravens can only stop themselves, which they...
No, seriously. Because
definitely
that read option is going to be deadly. Because it's like, who do you play game plan for? Do you stop Lamar? Do you stop Derrick Henry? And then also, it opens up the pass game so much because, yes, 100%, the Ravens have always had a great run game. But now, you have to stack the box to stop Derrick Henry. So it leaves Zay Flowers one-on-one. It leaves Rashad Bateman one-on-one. It leaves motherfucking Mark Andrews one-on-one. And that's deadly.
I want to hear from a resident Ravens fan what he thinks.
Yeah, let's hear from you.
All right. I want to be as enthusiastic as 40 is. And potentially, yeah, that's great. But to me, I'm not saying Derrick Henry's washed, but I don't think there's that big of a difference between him and Gus Edwards.
Man, that's
when Gus
crazy.
when
This man
Gus
still
Edwards
hit
gets
22
rolling,
He
he's
still hit 22 miles per
unbelievable.
hour last year in the season, bro. 22 miles per hour at his age and his size.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It should work out. But let's just. That being said, even if you're right, he's just way better than Gus Edwards, which I don't know. I mean, to me, I think we got a better version of Gus Edwards now, and we had to pay him more along with it. And Gus is gone. So
Thunder and lightning back there. Keaton Mitchell and Derrick Henry is going to do numbers.
Love that. But it's only if the Ravens use him, man. Like Isaac said, maybe they'll just choose not to run the ball, and then who knows what could happen, you know?
Yeah. No, seriously. It seems that they do that in the playoffs every year. They get to the playoffs and they're like, fuck it, we're just going to throw the ball 40 times now.
As long as they don't change their game plan and Zane Flowers doesn't taunt, they should be good. Ooh, is that too soon?
Oh, sorry.
It is from you.
Another
fucking
thing. I mean, this isn't really a big deal. Patrick Mahomes restructuring his contract to create space for the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's how we're going to get fucking T. Higgins. Yeah.
Creates an additional $21.6 million worth of salary cap space for the Chiefs.
Yeah, bring me T. Higgins. Yes.
Ooh, Isaac's excited for getting a number one receiver for his second.
T. Higgins, I would like for y'all. Honestly, if you guys want to,
that'd be disgusting.
If you want to make a splash, though, you do whatever you can to get some more money, and you go get Justin Jefferson.
I mean, Justin Jefferson probably isn't a fan of what the Vikings are doing. We will get to what the Vikings did.
He definitely doesn't want to put fucking Sam Darnold.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm going to start going through the teams. I'm going to go through the ones we haven't talked about yet. We're going to start with a team that hasn't made a lot of noise, but they did do some signings. Cardinals. They've re-signed LJ Collier, 1 year to be determined for money. They signed Sean Murphy Bunting, 3 years, $25.5 million.
Not bad, but not great.
That's not a bad pickup.
No, it's all right.
Defensive Bilal Nichols, 3 years, $21 million.
Probably a tiny bit of an overpay, but he's a good player.
I was going to say that too. Overpaid a little bit.
Justin Jones, 3 years, $30.1 million.
That's a bigger overpay. That's a much bigger overpay. Wait, why? Did I miss something?
What?
Did I miss something?
I don't know. They signed Mac Wilson from the Patriots for 3 years, $12.75 million.
Yeah, that's one of the choices of all time.
DJ Dallas, 3 years, $8.25 million. And they also extended center Keith Ismail. So Falcons have done things. Not Falcons, Cardinals. The Falcons definitely did things. They released Jonnu Smith. They re-signed Nate Landman. They signed Charlie Warner, 3 years, $12 million. Darnell Mooney, 3 years, $39 million. Mm-hmm. And their big acquisition, Kirk Cousins, 4 years, $180 million.
Can I say something about that?
Go ahead.
Please.
That shit just tells me so much how much the NFL was trying to blackball Lamar Jackson last year. Because you don't throw $200 million at Lamar Jackson, but you give $180 million to a 35-year-old torn Achilles, Kirk Cousins. Be fucking real.
Who was your MVP take at the start?
Like, don't get me wrong. I love Kirk to death, but I'm speaking in a business standpoint. Like, be realistic right now. And any day of the week, I'm giving $20 more million to Lamar Jackson that is 25 years old to come run my team for the next 6 years instead of 35-year-old torn off of an Achilles Kirk Cousins. Like, that's just being realistic. Whether Kirk Cousins was my MVP last year or not, that's just, come on, bro.
I agree.
I honestly don't know, man.
Atlanta's
I agree with you.
Shit.
I do think it's a good pickup because even if he's not the best after the torn Achilles, it's still Kirk Cousins. He's not as bad as people make him out to be.
Oh yeah, I love Kirk. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I love Kirk. I just think it's stupid to pay a man $180 million, $100 million guaranteed after a torn Achilles when you could have had number 8 on the Ravens last year for $20 more million.
Yeah, you got a point. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is the injury that significant? Does Kirk need his Achilles?
You're right. He doesn't.
He ain't moving.
Oh, you're right. That's a good point there.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
it's Kirk Cousins. He doesn't run.
With the assets he has around him, but go disregard that. The assets he has around him, Kirk Cousins being Kirk Cousins, it's very great pickup. Very
This
great pickup.
could be pretty good for the Falcons.
Yeah.
They put some pieces around him for sure.
Yeah.
Warner is to me a little bit better than Johnny Smith, so that's a little bit of an upgrade. But I do love Johnny Smith.
They also just got Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
Darnold Mooney is an interesting one. They paid him what did Isaac say? $39 million or something like that.
They paid him $39 million for 3 years.
He's solid. I don't know if he's $39 million worth solid, but he's solid.
If you get him back to what he was, this is an amazing contract. If you don't, this is probably wasted money because he's a very high volume player. He can be very good or just be a non-factor.
Yeah.
The key for the Falcons is as long as their coach, as long as Raheem Morris actually plays their starters, they'll be fine. They will be fine.
They give number 7 some more touches than he had last year. They'll be excellent.
Oh yeah, it genuinely does concern me a little bit that they are. I don't know that they're seeming to. They might be hey, Milani.
Oh, hi, Milani.
No, but took you forever to recognize that.
I'm not all here, man. I'm like 40% here.
You're good, man. Let's move on to the Bills real quick. Buffalo kind of the scene for Star Wars Order 66. Buffalo kind of Order 66 their team. What they've done so far. They re-signed. Okay, so they re-signed David Edwards, 2 years, $6 million. They re-signed Matt Hack, their punter. They released Jordan Poyer, Saron Neal, Mitch Morse, Naheem Hines, Deontay Hardy. They also released Tre'Davious White. They released basically everybody. Tre'Davious White. They picked up at free agency. They picked up Steelers quarterback Mitch Trubisky, 2 years, $5.25 billion. I think he was on the Bills.
Why?
I don't know.
Cut all those players. Anyone they even slightly had concerns with or weren't 110% sure about, they released. But then they signed Mitch Trubisky. What the fuck?
They re-signed Taylor Rapp to 3 years and $10.625 million. They extended Deion Dawkins 3 years, $60.5 million. They re-signed Cam Lewis to 2 years, $4 million. They re-signed AJ Epinesa, 2 years, $12 million. They re-signed Daquan Jones, 2 years, $16 million. The only other their most recent free agent pickup outside of Mitch Trubisky was Bears linebacker Nicholas Morrow. 1 year to be determined for the cash. So they have done jack shit other than get a mediocre-ass backup quarterback and Nick Morrow. So
Nick Morrow's not good.
What's Buffalo? What's up with Buffalo? What are they doing? What's the deal? What's the problem?
I don't know. They released anyone they even slightly don't like. Anyone they're not 110% confident on, they released, and they brought in Mitch Trubisky. I don't know. Good question. What are they doing?
I don't know either.
That being said, Deion Dawkins is a good signing, and Epinesa is a weird player, but I feel like that's a good contract for him. I don't think there was going to be a market for him, so they could kind of get him with anything.
Totally. We are totally talking about baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about baseball. The Yankees' 2 best players both got hurt.
I didn't ask.
I didn't ask at all. Right now, guys. That's why I'm moving so much.
No, you're good, man.
What?
What's up with all those NASCAR rants on Twitter?
You follow Isaac? Wow, that's a choice.
You follow me on Twitter? Yeah, that is a choice, bro. You gotta understand, bro. I'm a motorsports guy. I'm gonna rant about shit on Twitter when no one's listening.
I have him blocked.
Yeah, it's true. He does. Panthers released Bradley Bozeman, franchise tagged Brian Burns. We'll get back to that when we get to the Giants.
Yeah, we'll return to Brian Burns.
Yeah. They released Hayden Hurst. Get well soon, buddy. Fuck. I just cut myself. What?
Good. Nothing. Go ahead.
Re-signed JJ Jansen 1 year. Their pickups. They signed Dolphins guard Robert Hunt, 5 years, $100 million. They signed Seattle guard.
Pause. You can't just move past that. What Robert Hunt has progressed and now he's an okay guard. No, I'd say he's a good guard. He's a very good guard. Even $100 million. You paid him tackle money. I I don't know. I think that's a pretty big overpay.
They also signed Seattle guard Damian Lewis to 4 years, $53 million.
See, to
I'm
me,
glad to see that.
those two players are about the same level of talent. So
Yeah.
no, that's not true. Damian Lewis is not as available. No, I guess Robert Hunt's a little bit better, but not that much better. I don't. To me, those two contracts should have been comparable. But look how much more Robert Hunt's making. Just crazy to me.
They signed defensive lineman Ashawn Robinson, 3 years, $22.5 million. Linebacker Josie Jewell, 3 years, $22.75 million. And they just acquired Deontay Johnson in a trade. So Panthers doing things, I guess.
Yeah, that's how I would sum it up as well. They were making off-season moves. That's just all you can really say about it.
Let's talk about the Chicago Bears, who still haven't done anything with Justin Fields yet.
I heard there was no market for him.
Apparently not, because they haven't traded him away or had him sign anywhere.
I'm going to quote Mr. Marcus Whitman here. I guess the rest of the league has seen him play football.
I guess they have too. Yeah. Anyway, the Bears, they released Cody Whitehair and Eddie Jackson. They traded for Ryan Bates, re-signed Jalen Johnson, 4 years, $76 million, and Patrick Scales, 1 year, $1.21 million. Their pickups in free agency so far have included Green Bay safety Tarvarius Moore, Titan safety Kevin Byard, 2 years, $15 million.
Eagles safety.
Yeah. They picked up the Eagles running back DeAndre Swift, 3 years, $24 million. They signed Chargers tight end Gerald Everett, 2 years, $12 million. And their most recent pickup today was Simone Biles' husband for 2 years.
I'm curious. Where do you think Eddie Jackson has fallen off? He's not the player he used to be. He's like 30, 31 now. He's okay. He was still okay last year. He's very serviceable. He still has his talent, but he's just not nearly the player he was. That being said, he's still absolutely a good player. Where do you think he ends up? Because I'm not going to lie, maybe it's just because of what's going on, but man, Eddie Jackson next, like on one side, Jeremy Chin on the other.
I was about to say,
Washington wanted to do that, that could work really well because Eddie Jackson is ridiculously fucking fast. Like he just covers the field in an instant. And then there's Jeremy Chin, who's a baby Cam Chancellor. I mean, he has something going for you.
It definitely could work. I'm just more curious about what's going to happen with Justin Fields. Are the Bears going to – because the Bears still got the number 1 pick. They don't show any signs of getting rid of it, so –
yeah, I'm switching from my computer to my phone real quick because I can't find my computer charger.
All good, man. All good. All good. My take on the Bears is this. Either release Justin Fields or start him next year and draft a wide receiver because it's starting to get ridiculous.
I might have been a little premature about Eddie Jackson.
I'm
looking at this PFF rating now. I'm like, oh, what the? He may have nosedive. I think I should take back my take.
Take it back if you want to.
He's been horrible. I don't know. Whenever I watch Bear games, he's doing all right. PFF says he is garbage.
Oh my God, there's 2 40s. Now there's 140. We had double 40s for a second there. That was scary.
Oh man.
It's double the bets.
Hey, but Chicago, just go ahead and give Washington Justin Fields, man. Y'all don't want him for real.
Yeah.
You know who else doesn't want him? Washington, apparently.
Which is stupid because I'll be honest, Justin Fields is better than any quarterback in this draft.
I think Justin Fields is definitely better than any quarterback on Washington's roster.
He's better than any quarterback in his draft too.
What was in Justin? Who was in Justin Fields' draft? 2021. Hold up.
No, I said anybody in this draft.
Oh, this draft. Okay, I was about to say.
It's still a take I strongly disagree with.
Who's better than him? Caleb? No.
Yes, for sure, easily. Yeah, right. Caleb will come in and be an instant improvement.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
I don't
All right,
hate
let's
him.
go back to this. All right, you can bring receipts. All right, I'm going to come back to this if I'm right, though. That
I
being
don't
said,
hate him. I just know the type of player he is. When he doesn't get his way, he bitches. And then when he bitches and he doesn't get his way, and if it doesn't still not getting his way, then his father bitches. Like I know the
are
type
you
of player he
describing?
is.
Are you describing Caleb Williams? Or are you describing Patrick Mahomes?
Hey,
It's the
No,
same.
Patrick Williams. I mean, Patrick Mahomes' father doesn't complain about anything.
Patrick Mahomes' father's currently
He's a shit talker.
indisposed at the moment, so leave him out of
Oh
this.
yeah, forgot he got
But being a
arrested.
shit talker and a crybaby are two different things.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes
Caleb
Sr.
Williams
talks
is
a lot
fucking
of shit.
crybaby.
Listen, Pat Mahomes Sr. talks as much shit as he wants because that whole I'm smoking that Joe Burrow pack after the that whole line he did after the AFC Championship 2 years ago, priceless.
Caleb Williams is a crybaby.
Fair
His
enough.
father's the crybaby too.
I don't know about his father. I don't know about him. You're probably right. You would know more than I would about it. But I'll say from everything I've seen, I think he's a much better player than Justin Fields. But that being said, Washington, why don't y'all just flip over a 7th? There's no market for Justin Fields. Nobody wants him. Why would Washington just flip him a 7th round pick and pick up Justin Fields? Have him start for
But
you
the
guys.
thing is, too, throwing a 2nd round in there, we literally have 2 2nd round picks and 3 3rd round picks. Like, throw one of those in there.
Why? Why do you have to? There's no market for Justin Fields. Nobody wants him. Everyone has seen him play. So,
but the thing is, though,
throw him a 7th. You don't need to spend a 2nd on Justin Fields.
You know his stats are nearly identical to Lamar's in like the first 50 starts, right?
And you know that stats are bullshit. Don't tell the story. You gotta watch the film.
Wins and losses don't tell the story either.
Correct. I agree.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta watch the film, like you said. And Justin Fields is a great player.
Garbage. He's so bad.
Let's talk about the Bengals.
So you thought he was terrible in college too?
No. I thought he was good in college.
So he just became terrible when he got to the league.
No. I thought he had to go to the right spot, as every quarterback does, and he didn't at all. They went to a team with just so many front office issues who didn't put the talent that he actually needed around him. And then when they did, DJ Moore, they didn't use that talent in the right way to help him succeed.
I was going to say, and you see what he did. You see what he did when he did get the talent around him.
Not much. He wasn't good this last year. I mean, he was okay. Like he had
an injury.
He showed me. I consider myself
when he came back after the injury. How many games did they win?
You just said wins and losses aren't a stat.
But I'm saying though, when he came back from injury, how many games did he win with that new team that he has?
Let me check. But I'll tell you, to me, it doesn't. You know, I consider myself a Justin Fields fan. Actually, I think I'm higher on him than the majority of people. And this is what I'm saying about him. Like, he's shown flashes. He can be good, and I believe that he can be good. But he has not been good enough for him to be valued in the NFL. Evidently.
Yeah, but he's not trash, bro. People just treat him like he's trash. He's not trash, bro. He just needs the right team.
But that being said, he hasn't had any amount of like success for people to like put their hat on and say anything other than he's trash. So if someone says he's trash, I can't be like, nah, I disagree. It's like I don't have any evidence to really back up the fact. It's just I see what I look. I don't think he is. I think he'd be good elsewhere, but we don't know what he looks like elsewhere. You know.
We'll see.
That being said, I do believe landing spot is everything, and he went to like the worst spot for him. So
yeah,
there's that.
I think we can all agree on.
So what the fuck makes you think? Sorry, Isaac. I'm sorry, but what makes you think Caleb's going to be any better going to the same spot that Justin is?
I didn't say Caleb will be good. Landing spot is everything. He will be bad too, but I think he's a better player than Justin Fields. So I think he's more talented and everything like that. So I think that he'll have more success even in a similarly bad scheme. Even if they don't use him, in the same situation, I feel like he'll do better than Justin Fields. That makes I don't think
trash.
Fair.
I'm not on a Caleb hype.
I'm a little bit on the hype. Agree to disagree, though, respectfully. You know, it's like.
I mean, I hope he proves me wrong, but you know, well, I call it how I see it. I told people Jalen Hurts was trash 5 years ago. He hasn't proved me wrong yet. Yeah, he had one good season. He went to the Super Bowl, but he still has not proved me wrong yet. He's trash.
Oh my God! I hope no one from Fired Up is watching.
Oh no! Hey, Big Boss. Hey, So like the
We need a
big
banner that
bosses
just
are
says
watching,
40's
man.
opinion.
But look though, and the
The
big
banner on the
bosses
sticker.
know because the big bosses watch this show. The big bosses have heard me say Jalen Hurts is a 5-star player. You give him 5-star players around him, he can absolutely succeed. With the roster he has right now, there is no reason for him not to succeed.
Yes,
I
yes,
absolutely
yes.
agree with that take. I love that take.
And
Yeah,
I love
that's like one of my
Philadelphia.
favorite
and
things that you've
really
ever
hope,
said, actually.
and I
Like,
hope I love Philadelphia, and I really hope that Philadelphia loves me
we
back.
gotta make a ticker on the bottom that just says 40's opinions are his own and do not respect the feelings of the favorite of sports.
Hey, dude, it's okay.
Something
I've
like
dealt
that.
with, dude, Joe, it's okay. Hey, listen, for anyone out there who's listening, Fired Up Sports,
Just
one of the best
specifically for
things
the
about
Eagles.
one of the best things about working for Fired Up Sports and being a part of the network is that they are 100% okay with us saying whatever we want. They give us so much creative freedom. There are other networks. There are other networks that wouldn't be as tolerable to us, not us bashing on Philadelphia sports, but Fired Up is okay with it. So
I'm not
thank you,
bashing
Fired Up.
Philadelphia sports. I
Yeah,
just
he's-
feel as if their quarterback isn't what they think their quarterback is. But with the players he has around him now, their quarterback can be the quarterback they think he is.
Their quarterback could have been that quarterback last year too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you know what? He took a step back last year and he wasn't comfortable. He wasn't making the same audibles he was making the year before. Like, don't get me wrong. I was happy he proved me wrong the year they went to the Super Bowl. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe this guy
Maybe he
can
does
be
got it.
something.
I wouldn't even say
Then
that the Super Bowl was his fault. I think it was more of just the Eagles' defense and some interesting calls that maybe should have been more consistent.
he came back last
Whoa.
year and he was like, it made me go back to all the things I was saying about
I think
this
I
guy
just
was
broke
right.
Gnome. Did I break Gnome?
Oh, you didn't break me.
Look, I'll be honest.
Maybe
I'll be
they-
honest. That's
No,
I'll be honest.
I'll be honest.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it. I
Should
don't wanna hear
we,
it.
should we transition to the Eagles with that being said there?
I
That's
was
a
going
good
to transition
call.
to the Ohio teams, but we'll do the Eagles first. So,
Nobody
where
cares
are
about
the
those
Eagles on
Ohio
this?
teams.
I don't think the Eagles have done much.
Yeah, the only thing they did do.
Oh,
was
actually,
a
no,
lot.
wait,
They
they've
did
done a
bit
whole
of nothing.
shit
well,
ton.
you're
Never
crazy.
mind, they did a shit ton. Here's who they've done. Signed.
Our hopes are on crack.
Okay, yeah, don't worry, I am on crack. They signed Julian Aquara, 1 year, $2.675 million. Re-signed
It's so funny to me. I'm sorry. He was a really high-end prospect coming out, and he went to play alongside his brother. He just hasn't done anything. Oh, it's so sad.
Wait, did you guys?
like?
Sorry, very off topic, but did you guys know Puka Nacua has a brother in the USFL?
No, I
did not.
didn't. What's
No.
his name?
Yeah, he actually plays for same team Marcus plays for, Michigan Panthers.
nice.
Oh shit, interesting.
Nice. Might see him
Uh,
when we go.
Did you know that
Panthers play the
Romeo
Defenders.
and Julian Aquara are named after Romeo and Juliet?
Oh wow.
They're
What
two.
the fuck?
They're two brothers, and one of them named after Romeo, the other one's named after Juliet.
Hey,
Romeo
hold
and
up,
Julian Aquara.
hold up.
Wow.
Interesting.
Fun fact of the day.
Very fun fact of the day.
In terms of releases, the Eagles released Devontae Maddox and Kevin Byard.
Slot
Jason
receiver and safety that hasn't been good for them. Fair.
Jason Kelsey retired. They re-signed Albert Oku. I always struggle with these names. So they just re-signed a tight end named Albert with an O. at the end.
Alberto.
Alberto.
If
By
I'm
the way, I
Jason
think-
Kelsey, I'm sitting down and
Alberto?
having a conversation with my wife and saying, "Listen, babe, I just one more year. Like,
Yeah, after
you just got
this, dude.
Saquon, just one more
Yeah.
year."
Might as well. Saquon Barkley, 3 years,
You're gonna bring Fletch back,
$37.75
too?
million. Yeah, Fletcher Cox retired. Brandon Graham got re-signed for a 1-year deal. Landon Dickerson was extended to 4 years, $84 million.
That's
Imagine he could be at
that's-
center now.
They re-signed their punter, Braden Mann. A lot of special teamers got re-signed. But all their free agent signings. Devontae Parker, 1 year, $4.69 million. Matt Hennessy, 1 year. Zach Bond, 1 year, $3.5 million. Bryce Huff, 3 years, $51.1 million. I already mentioned Julian
Yeah,
Aquara.
that's deadly.
Saquon Barkley, 3 years, $37.75 million. And holy shit, did the Giants fan base not take this well?
I want to hear from our Giants fans, honestly. I want to know what they think of it.
Tiki Barber
Yeah,
didn't
why?
take it well either.
I
Yeah,
heard what Tiki said. Yeah, they sent me what Tiki said. He said,
Tiki?
he said,
I
you're
think
dead
it's
to
so
me.
funny because Lamar's using it. Lamar's using that as his quote with everyone now.
I saw it.
I saw him say it to Geno Stone earlier. You're dead to me.
Did y'all lose Geno Stone? What?
Yeah, Geno Stone to the Bengals, man.
Dino Stone to the
Oh,
Bengals.
brutal.
Patrick Queen to the
Patrick
Steelers.
Queen. Somebody, I seen a tweet earlier. They said
Dead to me.
Ray Lewis rolling over in his grave right now. He ain't even dead yet.
Let's talk about Saquon though. Like, okay, dude, Saquon's gonna be an Eagle, bro.
I mean, it makes sense.
Listen.
Hometown. That's his hometown, you know.
It is a Penn State boy, but let's be honest here. Like, you were on an NFC East team going to another NFC East team. You better watch your ACL when the Eagles play the Giants. That's all I'm saying.
There's no loyalty in this shit no more, man.
NFC East teams don't take that shit lying down. So like other teams might be other teams, other divisions, other conferences might be a little. The AFC North, they're their own thing. NFC East teams,
NFC East also their own thing.
NFC East players will lead with their helmets on you if you go to a rival. I'm just saying, they will not give a fuck.
No loyalty in this shit anymore, man. I've seen so many players in the last couple of days sign into their division rival. It makes no sense.
But
no,
riddle me this 40. Why should he have loyalty for the Giants? Who have?
Oh no. In his sense, I understand 100%. But I'll be honest with you. The Eagles was the last team I fucking expected. I thought maybe Dallas or Houston.
I thought Houston.
You know, I thought Houston was a lock for sure. When I got that alert
Washington
saying
was an option.
Saquon Barkley to the Eagles, I was mind blown. I like that. That was just crazy to
It
me.
makes sense from a business point perspective, at least from his choice. It's like you're going to a team with a much better O-line with a history of at least inside zone running, and like Forty said, he's going home, and make a ton of money.
What's also insane too is if that team stays healthy, we could see Saquon probably break a record this year. And the reason I say that is because last year you had DeAndre Swift. He finished his 5th in rushing in the league. The year before that, you had Miles Sanders. He finished his 5th in rushing in the league. I mean, I think all three of us can agree right now that Saquon Barkley is better than Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift.
That's a terrible
take.
How could you say? Absolutely, for sure.
So, with that being said, those guys finishing 5th in the league in rushing, I can only imagine where this guy will finish in rushing this year.
Do we want to place a bet that he might be the next member of the 2000 Club?
No. Yes. No. Wait. I kind of like that.
With that O-line,
the reason I'm hesitant on it is because for some reason he always seems to miss at least 2 to 3 games every year.
That still means he has 15 to get done.
And I'm going to be honest.
The number 4.
It can happen, but I think I've only seen one man do it in less than 15 games, and that was O.J. Simpson. Well, I didn't see him do it, but, you know, one man that I know that has the stat that did it in less than 14 games, 15 games.
There's a lot of things I would have liked to go back in time to see, but I don't think it would be safe to go back in time and watch O.J. Simpson.
I would love to go back in time and watch.
I'll be honest. O.J. Simpson was the reason I fell in love with the game. Everybody, that was the first running back I ever saw was O.J. Simpson when I watched the football highlight.
Nice.
Yeah, that all jokes.
That season is the best running season of all time.
Yeah, he was killer, man. Okay, all jokes aside, I had to get that one out. I had to do that one. All murder jokes aside, the rushing for 2,000 yards in just 14 games. Yeah, no, that is absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane. All right. Second best running back of all time. Second best running back. We forgot about the original GOAT. We forgot about the GOAT.
Whoa, Walter Payton was still a better running back too. Hold up.
Okay.
I'm not saying OJ.
Wait, Payton single-handedly.
I'm just saying that was the best running season of all time.
I don't know, because Walter Payton's 77 season, he single-handedly pulled the Bears kicking and screaming to the playoffs with no quarterback, no O-line, no defense. They lost by 30 to Dallas in the divisional round. And Walter scored 16 touchdowns and rushed for over 1,800 yards.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Walter did everything.
He did everything for that team. Like they might as well.
OJ's Bills didn't he? OJ's 2,000-yard season his team didn't even make the playoffs. The Bills missed the playoffs.
Okay, from a pure rushing perspective.
But
maybe not the best for running back
ever. Eric Dickerson though, 84.
Less
Eric
games.
Dickerson.
Oh,
less games. You're right. But Dickerson. But dude, Dickerson's 84 season is so awesome to watch.
Yeah, all right.
Who's done it in the least amount of games though?
OJ,
yeah.
2,000-yard. It's OJ, Eric Dickerson, Terrell Davis, Barry Sanders, that one Raven dude,
Johnson. Hey, Jamal Lewis,
Chris Johnson, and Derrick Henry are the only 7 to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek Dickerson.
Derek almost did it twice.
Didn't he? Yeah, he's Yeah.
Derrick Henry's so good.
Eric Dickerson almost did it twice too. I think he has what is his rookie?
Oh, and
year?
Adrian Peterson. 8. There's 8. I forget about AP.
Oh
Nah,
yeah.
AP didn't have 2 bands. I thought he had
Oh,
1,900
2012.
something.
2012. He had 2.
Yeah.
2012.
He won
Yeah.
MVP.
3 of those guys, Chris Johnson, Jamal Lewis, and Derrick Henry are the only ones there to not. Oh, and Eric Dickerson are the only ones to not win MVP. Dickerson was because Dan Marino had arguably the greatest quarterback season adjusted for era ever this very same year.
Adrian Peterson ran for 2,000?
2012, off of a torn ACL. He rushed for 2,000 yards.
I remember him winning I remember him winning the MVP, but I thought he was like 60 yards short of 2,000 or something.
Nah,
no,
man.
you're thinking of the single game record. He was short by a couple of yards, I think.
No, he got it.
Okay.
He got the
No,
single game record.
Wait, no, 296. That's him. You might be right,
Yeah,
40. Hold up.
He got
No,
it his
he's
rookie year against the Chargers.
2,097 yards in 2,097 yards in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Adrian Peterson was a fucking dog. What the fuck?
The only guys to not win MVP is Eric Dickerson, 84. Dan Marino had arguably the greatest quarterback season ever, adjusted by era that same year. Jamal Lewis in 2003 got Offensive Player of the Year, but Steve McNair and Peyton Manning balled out so hard. It should have been Jamal Lewis, honestly, because Manning and McNair balled out, but they got co-MVP. It's like, okay, if they got co-MVP.
I agree. Should have been.
Yeah, Jamal Lewis should have gotten it that year.
Jamal Lewis.
It was insane.
Totally
Chris Johnson, 2009. Yeah, it was awesome, but also Peyton Manning was at the peak of his powers and was just obliterating stats left and right and almost had a perfect season. So I could see that one. And then Derrick Henry, 2020. Look, I've finally come to peace with the terms they didn't get it because Aaron Rodgers had an insane season. I'm still bitter about it because I didn't think we'd see a 2,000-yard rushing season in this modern age.
Titans didn't. Why? Why do you think? Because the people are passing more, but they have more games to get it done now.
That's true. They do have more games to get it done. But with how much the league relies on the pass game, I didn't think we'd see another 2,000-yard rusher after Chris Johnson. So the fact that, or after Adrian Peterson,
and didn't matter.
1,000. I can agree with you with that, Isaac. But also, you got to look at it like Noam said. They have a lot more games to do it now. But not only that, it really only takes one game to get you almost there. Like we saw fucking Damian Pierce had a game where he had 187 yards rushing last year. Like you feel me? Like the running backs can have it any given Sunday.
Yeah,
one long run can get you closer and closer.
Fair enough. Let's keep talking about free agency. Ohio teams, Bengals franchise tag T Higgins, although he has requested a trade now, so that's to be seen. Re-signed Cody Ford, 1 year, $1.35 million. Re-signed Travion Williams, 1 year. Re-signed Drew Sample for 3 years, $10.5 million. They picked up Mike Gesicki, they picked up Geno Stone, and they picked up Zach Moss.
All terrible signings. They should probably sell their team, join the XFL, and just shut down in general. I'm speaking objectively here, of course.
Oh man,
I think that'd be best from a business perspective. I mean, these are just horrible signings. Your organization's clearly heading in the wrong direction. Missed the playoffs horribly last year. You got people think Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the league, so
he's the only guy who can stop Patty P.
Now look, I'll be honest too.
Got Patty P.
I'll be honest too. Like I understand Joe Mixon going into year 8 or 9, but what the fuck did you let go of Joe Mixon for?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So as 40 said, they should probably, they got rid of Joe Mixon. So they should probably shut down their whole all football operation and sell the team. And
other than Jamar Chase, since Jamar Chase has been there, Joe Mixon has literally been the Bengals' consistency for 8 seasons.
T. Higgins
it's been 8 years. Oh my God! I remember when he was drafted. I remember all the controversy when he was drafted because he got into that fight with his girlfriend, and people were saying I remember that shit. Holy shit! 8 years? Wow, I'm old. Wow,
bro. Yeah, bro. We old as shit, bro. I just thought about it today that Lamar's going into year 7.
What?
Oh
no,
bro. Year 7?
What?
Last year's year 6.
God, if he don't get it done this year, I don't know. Browns, Cleveland traded for Jerry Jeudy, great pickup. Signed Zadarius Smith, 2 years, $23.5 million. Signed Jordan Hicks for 2 years.
What's the contract on that?
What?
What's the contract on Jordan Hicks?
$8 million.
Whew. Yeah, okay. I like it.
Signed Jameis Winston for a 1-year deal. Have fun with him, Cleveland. Is your problem now?
How much do you make?
It's not been announced yet. They also just signed Nyheim Hines and re-signed Michael Dunn and Shelby Harris. So the Browns seem to have an affinity for quarterbacks with questionable backstories.
Oh my God, they do.
Yeah, because Jameis Winston had his shit from Florida State. They've got Groper Cleveland there taking snaps. I think the good news here is that if Deshaun Watson ends up getting hurt, at least they have a quarterback. At least they have an excuse to. Well, at least they'll have another entertaining quarterback behind center if he gets hurt, because Jameis Winston has that effect.
I just want to
Some of
comment on
these-
the Browns real quick because I heard you say when he said Jerry Jeudy. I feel like Jerry Jeudy was in a situation like Justin Fields. He didn't get drafted to the right team. And now that he'll be on a team that has Amari Cooper on the other side and Elijah Moore in the slot, I think that he can be the Jerry Jeudy that we saw at Alabama that everybody was glazing over. Pause. And before he got drafted.
I didn't think we were like. I mean, we were, but I wouldn't use the term glazing.
No. There was a lot of hype with Jeudy when he was getting.
Oh, there was.
I remember it.
Tons of hype.
There was a lot of hype, and that's because he was literally a human joystick in college. Like,
he was phenomenal.
He was absolutely phenomenal at Alabama. Like, there was literally
I think I forgot about it.
There was games where Jerry Jeudy, every time he touched the ball in college, he was taking it for a fucking touchdown.
Dude, I think I forgot because during that era, Alabama was pumping out so many incredible receivers. During that era.
bro.
I just randomly forgot Jerry Jeudy was there.
He was insane at Bama.
He was like the best one, honestly. Like, let's be real.
And what's crazy? He was the next receiver right after Amari Cooper. So
yeah, it was like Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy,
Ruggs.
Yeah,
Henry Ruggs. God!
At Alabama, he was fire.
Raiders.
Henry Ruggs was an animal at Bama. Devontae Smith was the best of them all. Though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey, Devontae Smith won the Heisman as a receiver.
Yeah.
He had a quarterback throw into it. The fact that he got it over his quarterback says loads of how good he was.
Look, this man, Nick Saban was such a mastermind with receivers.
Dude,
that
before Amari Cooper, remember who they had before? They had fucking Julio Jones.
Julio Jones. I was just about to say that. This man went from Julio to Amari Cooper to Jerry Jeudy to Calvin Ridley. Oh my God.
Fucking hell, we need Saban. Did you see Saban's comments, by the way? Saban said one of the reasons he was at on Capitol Hill. He said one of the reasons that he stepped away is because the players now only care about getting the money. It's like, yeah, but you live in a $50 million home. So do we really Nick? I love you, but look, come on, man.
This is what he said to that though, and I respected what he said 100%. He said he gets into meetings with these kids now, and the first thing they ask are, am I going to be a starter? How much money am I going to be making? Yeah. This is Nick fucking Saban you're talking to. You don't ask him that.
Oh, yeah.
So
you don't ask Nick Saban that.
Yeah, exactly. So, that with that, him being such an old school guy, I would understand. Like, I don't think he had a problem with all the NIL shit and shit like that. I think his problem was him going into meetings with these kids, and the first thing they're asking, am I going to be a starter? How much money am I making? Like, that's just the craziest thing to ask to Nick Saban.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. On the Jeudy thing, I want to protest. I don't think it's like Justin, or you know what? Maybe it is like Justin Fields, but not for the way that you think. Jerry Jeudy could have, it's all landing spot. So yes, he could have done better elsewhere. But that being said, even as a receiver, you can even if you're on a terrible team, you can show that you got it. You'll have opportunities.
That's true, because look at Terry McLaurin for all these years. You're right.
Terry McLaurin, an example. You can even argue Justin Jefferson for some years.
Yeah,
it just depends. Like Jerry Jeudy, not only did he not show it, not live up to the pedigree that people had on him, which may have been a little unfair because he didn't go to a perfect situation. But not only did he not do that, he developed issues that he had never even had at Alabama in his game, like stuff that you would not see in the draft report.
Like that, yeah.
Drops. He was dropping everything. It was crazy.
You're right.
Hey, real quick.
That being said, I said but if it works, it's gonna be a phenomenal. If he can succeed here, phenomenal.
No, I like that take though. Like, I agree with that. He definitely can have a high ceiling, but you're right.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not denying the ceiling. Hey. We all saw him at Alabama, bro. I'm not denying the ceiling. Hey. No one can.
Hey, real quick.
Justin Fields to the Commanders.
No, I was looking at y'all were talking about Bama. I was curious. I looked up their 2017 team. All those receivers we were talking about. They were all
on one team, right?
2017. Jalen Hurts and Tua at quarterback, Damian Harris and Josh Jacobs at running back, and wide receiver Devontae Smith, Robert Foster, Cam Sims, Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, and Henry Ruggs.
Every one of those players went to the NFL.
And I was about to say,
and
Cam
was okay.
Sims was even like that at Alabama. Like, that's how crazy Alabama's wide receiver room was.
If Cam Sims
you know that
is
team,
6 wide receiver, you're fine, bro.
You know that team also had that I feel like doesn't get enough credit for what he did in college. Not in the pros, because he was shit in the pros. Literally shit. What happened to Bo Scarborough?
I don't know what happened to
Bo Scarborough was the
last.
He was
Big
the last
running back. He wore number 9, right?
Yeah. Remember, between Amari Cooper and between Julio Jones and Amari Cooper, from like late 2000s to like right around 2017, Alabama did not focus on receivers outside of like Amari Cooper and Julio Jones. They were all about getting big ass running backs and defense. Remember, they had Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson. Bo Scarborough was the last of that line of like giant Titanic-sized running backs that Bama was just shoving down everyone's throat, and he was a dog for a couple of years at Bama. The problem was that his last year at Bama is when Saban started to focus on insane receivers instead. It switched it up. But
Scarborough, I think he ended up getting drafted to the Cowboys, or he signed to the Cowboys. I remember that.
And that's a great segue, because we got to talk about how the Cowboys have done jack shit so far.
I love it.
Dallas's only 2 moves this postseason so far. They have re-signed Carl Davis Jr. to 1 year, and they re-signed their long snapper.
I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Everybody in the NFC is making moves except the bum-ass Cowboys. Is beautiful to me.
These are fantastic signings. This team is going places. I forgot to mention this for the Browns, because I think we can all agree that those are pretty decent signings. So they should probably shut down their football operations and move to Canada. We're all thinking it. I mean, it's not a good track record. They signed Jabu. They got
real quick. I want to give a shout out to everybody watching right now. It looks like we have right now live. We have the most people watching a show ever when it's been live right now. That is insane. I'm looking at the analytics right now. This has been the most watched episode so far. So thank you guys so much
for joining, guys.
For tuning in. This is awesome. We got a bunch of teams to go. I'm going to kind of rapid fire some of these teams because I know we're already over the 1 hour mark. We want to get through them. So Broncos released Russell Wilson, released Justin Simmons, released Chris Manhertz, re-signed PJ Locke, 2 years, $7 million, re-signed Will Lutz, 2 years, $8.4 million. He's a great kicker, but he's a former Saint, so he can go rotten hell.
He's amazing.
Re-signed Michael Burton. There are only 2 pickups so far in free agency. Safety Brandon Jones, 3 years, $20 million, and defensive lineman Malcolm Roach, 2 years, $8 million. Any thoughts?
So I was kidding earlier, but they might actually want to pack up and just go to the CFL or the XFL or something. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, nah. And this is where I'll start with what the fuck are they doing? I understand things didn't work out with Russell Wilson. I get that.
That's an understatement.
1,000%. I get it totally. But if you think that I'm taking an $86 million dead hit in money to release that man, you're fucking crazy. They're paying this man $86 million to pay for the Steelers next year. The man signed a rookie. The man signed a vet minimum with the Steelers, all because he knew he was getting $86 million to play for 1 year.
It's literally insane. Like the Steelers, oh yeah, they're chilling. They're like, wow, we just signed a Hall of Famer for $1 million,
bro.
A Hall of Fame quarterback for $1 million. The Broncos, why would you do that? First of all, yeah, it has been bad. But last year was
ass on the bench. That boy would have been eating the bench up the whole season.
Last year was better than the year before. Like Russell Wilson was turning it on towards the end of the year. He was getting better. Like he had figured the Broncos were competing and everything. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't like back to what he was, but he was showing signs and everything. It's like, what a weird point to cut him at. And like to pay $38 million to get rid of him. Why not at least see him out for another year? I mean, I would personally, if you sign that much money, I would probably let him play all 5.
That boy would have been cold as shit on that bench. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. I'm starting to think the Broncos were cursed. I think they sold their soul to the devil to win that Super Bowl in 2015 because they've been so bad since. Yeah, but cleanse them.
Releasing Justin Simmons is actually insane too because
it's insane. What the fuck are they doing? That's like they might actually.
I wanted us to get Justin Simmons, but then we signed Jeremy Chin.
The tank is going to be very strong in Denver next year. Rev up those
Why would
tanks.
you get rid of Justin Simmons? He's fucking amazing. Like, I
Get
don't
ready to
understand.
start learning Chinese, Denver, because the Broncos are going to be
It's
relegated.
because like he
to
didn't have like the amount of
the
picks
CBL.
normally. Like,
They're gonna
picks
be the
are
first
position.
NFL team in China. They're gonna Shanghai Broncos.
Detroit. Detroit making some moves too. They released Tracy Walker. They re-signed Michael Badgley, 1 year, $1.292 million. Re-signed Jalen Reeves-Maybin, 2 years, $7.5 million. Great pay. He's a fantastic special teamer. Re-signed Zonovan Knight, 1 year, $985,000.
I love that guy.
Re-signed Shane Zylstra. Re-signed Emmanuel Mosley, 1 year, $1.125 million. Re-signed Graham Glasgow, 3 years, $20 million. Picked up Marcus Davenport, 1 year, $6.5 million. I like it. Marcus Davenport is pretty good. They traded for Carlton Davis. Treat him well. He was awesome in Tampa. I wish him the best.
Marcus Davenport. I just want to say, just button real quick. That's all I got to say on this. That's kind of a steal for $6 million.
That's a massive steal. They signed Amik Robertson, 2 years, $9.25 million. Re-signed Dan Skipper.
What are they paying Carlton Davis?
It hasn't come out yet. They traded for him. Kylie, I just woke up to us getting CJ Gardner-Johnson. What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you must be pissed off. What the
Kylie,
fuck are you doing?
Hey,
Yeah,
Kylie.
I know, Kylie. I'd be freaking out if I was an Eagles fan too, bro. Like, it's just a crazy
Kylie.
stupid move. I have no idea what they're thinking.
Hey, Kylie, shout out to Kylie, by the way, guys. She's down in Tampa for spring training right now with the Phillies. A couple days ago, you may have seen Kylie's tweet. She said dreams are finally coming true. Kylie got into the press box for the Phillies game against the Yankees. Good job, Philly.
Hey,
Good job,
congrats,
Kylie.
man.
Keep going. Keep
congrats,
going.
bro.
Yeah,
Congrats.
first the new
I'm
job.
sorry
First
you have to be in Florida right now, but congrats.
Yeah. I got a text from Kylie today. I was out shopping. I got a text from Kylie. He's like, why the fuck did you guys leave Tampa? This place is beautiful. It's like, well, it's nice. No, she did. I was like,
she didn't
well.
actually say that. No way.
No, she did. She said,
I'm blocking her on Twitter.
I was like, well, it's kind of nice, but once you get out of the city into Pasco County, don't try and turn your back now, Kylie. Don't try to turn your back now. You were gassing up the Tampa Zoo all afternoon.
Hey, Kylie, I forgot to text you and tell you too. Congratulations on Saquon. I know you were very happy about that.
Let's move on to the Packers real quick. Who I don't know what they're doing. They released Devondre Campbell. They signed Josh Jacobs, 4 years, $48 million. Okay. They released Aaron Jones, end of an era, signed Xavier McKinney, 4 years, $68 million, and re-signed Keyshawn Nixon, 3 years, $18 million. Good pickup on the Keyshawn Nixon re-signing.
Xavier McKinney is a great fucking signing too.
And I like Josh Jacobs too, even though he's kind of. I mean, it's Josh Jacobs. He led the league in rushing a couple years ago. He's solid.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
I've always liked Josh Jacobs.
But
my favorite part is he gets tackled at 10-yard line and still scores. Like, honestly,
I love the Josh Jacobs pickup, but I
like
hate that they got rid of Aaron Jones. That could have been a great two-headed duo in that backfield right there.
Where does Aaron Jones go, you guys think?
He went to Minnesota.
They had to pay them both.
He did.
Division rival.
Yeah, he was staying. He was staying in the division after that. He felt disrespected. He was staying in the division after that for sure.
I want to say though, they would have to. How much are they paying Josh Jacobs? $48 million over 4 years. Yeah. You'd have to pay Aaron Jones even more to stick around. You're not going to want to be putting in $30 million per year at the running back position.
They only need to pay, bro. I'm gonna be honest. He was being greedy, but they also only needed to pay him $1 more million. They offered him $6 million, and he took $7 million from Minnesota.
There is no. Why did they not? There's no way. It has to be more than that.
I thought it had to be more than that too, but I was reading up on something earlier that said the Packers' initial offer for him to take a pay cut was, 1 year, $6 million.
If he's going to Minnesota for $7 million, there's got to be something else going on. That's just crazy. There's no way Green Bay wouldn't do that. You know what? That is a hilarious front office, especially with running backs. I'm talking myself into it. Yeah, no, they're just that dumb.
That's awesome.
Nobody asked Kylie. Gosh.
No team in free agency has made more moves, however, than the Houston Texans.
Damn, how many people they signed? We signed 12.
They have actually. I think you guys signed more people, but I think the Texans have made more moves in total. The Commanders have signed the most people, but the Texans are up there too because here's what they've done. Ready? Re-signed Dalton Schultz, 3 years, $36 million. Re-signed Kyami Fairburn, 3 years, $15.9 million. Re-signed Chris Boyd, 1 year. Re-signed Eric Murray, 1 year, $1.75 million. Re-signed Desmond King, 1 year, $2.2 million. Re-signed Khalil Davis for a year. Signed Foley Fatukasi, 1 year. Signed Lonnie Johnson Jr. Signed Jeff Okuda, 1 year, $4.75 million. Signed Danico Autry, 2 years, $20 million. Signed Mike Ford, 2 years, $4.5 million. Re-signed Noah Brown for a year. Signed Aziz Al-Shahir, 3 years, $34 million. Signed Tommy Townsend, 2 years, $6 million. Signed Delshon Phillips for 1 year. Traded for Joe Mixon, and just earlier today signed Daniil Hunter for 2 years, $49 million.
Okay. Wow. I was you know what I said about the Commanders 40? I said they're throwing a million darts at the board to see, and we're gonna see what sticks. Yeah, that more for the Texans. That one on like the darts all have steroids.
Yeah.
Like steroid history.
Hey, Daniil Hunter.
That's a fantastic one. Ron. That's the only sure lock. The rest of them, there's a lot I could see almost all of them being really fucking good. I can also see all of them not being good. So man, I don't know. I want to say I really like their moves, but I'm kind of split on it. I don't know.
I don't know what to say, man.
I want to hear what 40 says, but he's still thinking. The 40 engine's still pumping. I can see it.
They've really shorn up their defense. Their defense is going to be a lot scarier this year than last year.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, I was talking. What were you guys saying? I apologize. I heard you said you wanted my take on something, but what was it you wanted
on
my
the Texans? The Texans, all their moves.
Did you hear him going over the Texan signings?
No, I know who the Texans have pretty much picked up. The signing I actually like the most is the running back. I like
Joe
that
Mixon?
I like that they went and got Joe Mixon from Cincinnati. Him, C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, that could be very lethal right there.
Noah Brown back again. Yeah.
On paper, it looks good, and then they also have what's the other running back they had last year? Pierce. He was a rookie too, so now he'll get to learn from Joe Mixon. I think they got something great going on over there in Houston. I think Houston can go back to the playoffs this year and be just a top-notch better because D'Amico Ryans really changed the culture of that team.
Looking at the rest of the AFC South real quick. So the Colts extended Jack Anderson, extended Zaire Franklin, re-signed Michael Pittman Jr., re-signed Taekwon Lewis, re-signed Grover Stewart, re-signed Rigoberto Sanchez, re-signed Kenny Moore. Their only pickup was Raekwon Davis, 2 years, $14 million.
These are all mediocre moves. How much did they pay Grover Stewart?
I'm about to say
$39 million for 3 years.
Trash. Next team.
Terrible. Horrible. What the fuck? Well, they're acting like they haven't had him.
Jacksonville.
He is just a run defender, man.
Jags have made a lot of moves. They released Foley Fatukasi, Darius Williams, and Rayshon Jenkins. Franchise tag Josh Allen. Re-signed Ezra Cleveland for 3 years, $28.5 million. Re-signed Daniel Thomas for 2 years and $4 million. Re-signed Jeremiah Ledbetter. Traded for Mac Jones.
That was a choice.
Comment.
That was definitely one of the decisions of all time.
I'm confused about that still.
They just, I don't know. There's something about him. It's like, oh, there's something backup-y about him that I like.
No, there isn't. Get him out of the league.
So tell him to get ready to learn Floridian. You're going to Jacksonville, buddy. Their pickups: Mitch Morse, 2 years, $10.5 million. Gabe Davis, 3 years, $39 million.
Big pickup right there.
Gabe Davis. Ooh. Darnell Savage, 3 years. Devin Duvernay.
Another big pickup right there.
Devin Duvernay.
How many they give Darnell Savage?
Has been announced yet. Devin Duvernay, 2 years, $8.5 million. Ronald Darby, 2 years, $8.5 million. And they re-signed Dearness Johnson for a year. So
most of those are solid.
Yeah. Jags are making moves.
Ronald
Jags
Darby
are making moves. Those some solid moves too.
Yeah, I agree.
I especially love that Gabe Davis move.
Me too.
Makes me curious to see what the hell's going to go on in Buffalo, but that Gabe Davis move is actually very, very.
I think Buffalo's going to take a step backward this year, honestly, just a little bit.
They might go draft Keon Coleman out of Florida State.
The defending world champion Chiefs released Marquez Valdez-Scantling, franchise tag L'Jarius Sneed, re-signed Drew Tranquil for 3 years, $19 million, Re-signed Chris Jones, 5 years, $158.75 million.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I have like mixed feelings about it. I know he's fucking tremendous and he's like the best interior defensive lineman right now, not named Aaron Donald. But you said 5 years?
5 years.
5 years, 158 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like paying interior guys that much, but it is Chris Jones, man. Like he is just such a freaking beast. Like to keep him, if that's what it takes to keep him around, maybe it's just worth doing for that alone. I don't know. I could see
I'm
it
sure
being.
he'll restructure sometime down the road.
Yeah.
I probably 40's probably
They
right.
signed Irv Smith Jr. to a 1 year, $1.3 million.
Not a
giving them
bad
an extra
pickup.
head. Good.
For the
Good.
price, it's not a bad pickup.
Solid.
And they re-signed Deion Bush for a year. So Chiefs, not a ton of moves, but they made some smart moves, I'd say.
They definitely need to keep L'Jarius Sneed if they're able to.
Yeah. Raiders re-signed Amir Abdullah, 1 year, $1.85 million. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize he was still in the league.
Neither did I.
They released Brian Hoyer, also did not know he was still in the league.
I did know that one.
Re-signed Andre James, 3 years, $24 million. Released Jerry Tillery. Signed Christian Wilkins, 4 years, $110 million.
Pause. So you know that thing I just said about not liking paying interior defensive linemen that much?
Yeah.
Christian Wilkins is a pure nose tackle who has learned to push the pocket a little bit, but that's money that the Ravens paid just Madubuike less. Like that's just man.
Yeah, Christian Wilkins definitely got overpaid.
Massive overpay for me.
Yeah.
You could have given him $70 million in the same time frame, I think, and still gotten him.
The thing is too, I just think that his name was so hyped because of where he played college ball at. Like, I mean, I thought the dude was good in college, but I didn't think he was like, the hype that everybody was giving him. And I still don't think he is. 100 whatever million he just got. That's just crazy to me.
It is pretty crazy to me too. Like I like Christian Wilkins. I didn't
he's
have him
cool.
coming
He's
out,
cool, but $100 million worth of cool?
Hell no, absolutely not. I liked him coming out, and no, I wasn't huge on him coming out. Actually, I didn't really like the pick, but he kind of surprised me by changing his game and learning to push the pocket a little bit, but not nearly enough to where you're like a pass rushing specialist. He's still mostly a good run defender with semi decent pass rush moves. You give that guy $110 million? What? Why? Like, what? It's just that's dumb to me. It's kind of maybe they're trying to reminisce about the John Gruden days. It seems like something he would do.
They also signed Gardner Minshew, 2 years, $25 million, and released Jimmy Garoppolo. So, I think they're going all in with Aiden O'Connell.
I think Jimmy G will probably be battling with Sam Darnold.
I think so too. I think
in Minnesota
Jimmy Jesus is going to go to Minnesota.
Yeah,
and I think Gardner Minshew could start over Aiden O'Connell. I think he's actually a lot better than him.
I think so too. Gardner's not much better than Aiden O'Connell, but he is definitely better than Aiden O'Connell.
Chargers, not a lot of moves. They released Eric Kendricks, signed Gus Edwards, 2 years, $6.5 million, signed Will Dissly, 3 years, $14 million, and re-signed Alohi Gilman, 2 years, $11 million.
I know the Ravens got Derrick Henry, but I'm sad that they lost Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards is a very
so much fun,
consistent player on that goddamn Ravens team.
He'll be fun to watch for the Chargers. Nice replacement for Austin Eckler, though.
No, what? They do entirely different things. No, that's it.
They're both really good.
Chargers, isn't the Chargers offensive coordinator the dude that the Ravens hated?
Yeah,
Greg Roman.
It's Greg Roman, but to be fair, Greg Roman does do solid run first offenses.
Yeah,
Gus Edwards has succeeded under Greg Roman's before.
Yeah, we'll definitely see run first over there, especially with Jim Harbaugh. He loves that run first.
Oh yeah.
Don't be surprised if he goes to get. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if JJ McCarthy drops in that second, third round. He'll definitely be Justin Herbert's backup.
I could see that. I feel like the Harbaughs are colluding.
Harbaugh loves that guy so much for some reason.
Hey, let's keep the pace up. Let's get through the rest of these. Rams made some moves. They released Brian Allen, re-signed DeMarcus Robinson for a year, re-signed Kevin Dotson for 3 years, signed Jonah Jackson, 3 years, $51 million, signed Colby Parkinson, 3 years, $22.5 million, and signed Darius Williams to 3 years, $22.5 million.
I like all those signings. That's crazy. I actually like every single one of those signings.
Yeah.
Not in love with any of them necessarily, but I like all of them. Yeah. Good, solid.
Dol-
Solid move for the Bears.
Dolphins made a shit ton of moves. Released Emmanuel Ogbah, released Keon Crossan, released Jerome Baker, signed Isaiah Mack 1 year, $1.1 million. Signed Davion Nixon 1 year, $985,000. Signed Jonnu Smith 2 years, $10 million. Re-signed Elijah Campbell 1 year. Re-signed Jake Bailey 2 years, $4.2 million. Re-signed Nick Needham. Signed Anthony Walker Jr. 1 year. Signed Jordan Brooks 3 years, $26.25 million. Signed Aaron Brewer 3 years, $21 million. Signed Jordan Poyer and signed Shaq Barrett for 1 year.
So
I need to know how much those guys are making.
Some of those are actually
They haven't released. The Dolphins have not been releasing how much the guys are going to be making.
Some of those are actually great moves, and I'm not too upset with them. But what are they? I mean, but besides, like, what are they going to do at receiver besides Tyreek Hill?
Good question.
I don't know.
Demarcus Robinson.
I mean, like, yeah, they have Jalen Waddle, but that guy, like, we can guarantee he's going to miss at least 6 games.
Oh my God, we forgot about talking about Jalen Waddle.
Oh yeah, speaking of Alabama receivers, we forgot about Jalen Waddle.
What the fuck? I forgot about him.
They're nuts. I knew we were forgetting one of the speedsters. No, for me, those are some solid players, but I need to know how much they're making before I can say that it's a good contract. It's just
at the end of the day, I still feel like they need a quarterback.
Your take on Tua has been well documented.
Yes, it has.
Vikings
released Alexander Madison. That's a shame. He was a dog. Re-signed Nick Muse, to be decided. Re-signed Johnny Munt, 1 year, $2.5 million. Signed Jonathan Grenard, 4 years, $76 million. Re-signed Blake Brandel, 3 years. Re-signed David Kessenberry. Signed Andrew Van Ginkel, 2 years, $20 million. Signed Blake Cashman, 3 years, $22.5 million. Signed Sam Darnold for 1 year, to be determined on cash. Signed John Parker Romo. Signed Aaron Jones, 1 year, $6 million. Released Dean Lowry. Signed Brandon Powell for 1 year. I think this is all we need to sum up the Vikings. Oh man, Justin Jefferson.
That shit makes it even funnier because that was my uncle that commented that shit.
How long until Justin Jefferson starts demanding a trade?
Hey, look, I'm gonna send it to y'all boys after this, but I saw something. Justin Jefferson was on a podcast today, and he was making his case for Justin Fields. He was like, we got to build. And this was before the Sam Darnold signing, though. So I think this was actually an interview that he did yesterday. He was like, we got to build off of, the Kirk leaving and things like that. He was like, I think Justin Fields is a guy that brings in a lot of versatility to our offense, this, that, and the third. So he's already making his push for another quarterback. He does,
I definitely want to see that clip. And I will say this, they made Josh Dobbs work for a little bit. Justin Fields is a lot better than Josh Dobbs. He might be fine.
The Vikings have a tendency to like to sign guys who used to play for their rivals. So historically, like Jim McMahon, Brett Favre. So,
the Ravens have a history of trying to sign Titans,
They do.
This isn't the first Titan they signed.
I remember the Steve McNair year.
And also,
they were really good.
Who was the receiver that played for the Titans? Derek Mason.
Derek Mason, the GOAT.
Oh, yeah. Patriots have also made a lot of moves. Released Lawrence.
One second. For the Dolphins, I some of those moves were pretty good. Others.
Bro, we skipped the Dolphins. We're on the
Vikings. The
Vikings. The Vikings, yeah.
Others are Sam Darnold.
Some were good. Others, 40's uncle summed it up the best.
Well, and to give the man 1 year, $10 million, he should have been the one getting the fucking vet minimum. 1 year, 1.2.
Yeah, agreed.
Patriots made a lot of moves. Released Lawrence Guy, released J.C. Jackson, released Adrian Phillips, franchise tagged Kyle Duggar. Let's see. Signed Chukwuma Okorafor, 1 year, $4 million. Re-signed Hunter Henry, 3 years, $27 million. Re-signed Kendrick Bourne, 3 years, $19.5 million. Picked up Antonio Gibson, 3 years, $11.25 million.
I'm not gonna lie. Even though me and my uncle were actually talking about this, even though he's a big fumble guy and he did fumble the ball a lot, I'm actually gonna miss Antonio Gibson. I'm gonna miss that guy.
I like him.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
He was very versatile out of the backfield. He could line up as a receiver as well.
Amazing receiving talent, yet also could break tackles and run through people. He's
And
honestly
and,
really
and
good.
that's the thing. He had size with his speed.
Yeah, it was
Like
kind of like Tevin Coleman back in the day.
I will say the Commanders are set because they got Brian Robinson and he's a dog. So sometimes,
Brian Robinson is more of a motherfucking power back though.
yeah.
I think we made up with AG
Eckler.
with the Austin Eckler signing, but
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
but
Eckler's
it's Austin Eckler. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss
Other
him
moves
too,
the
and
Patriots.
that one's a really good contract for them, by the way.
Other moves the Patriots have made. They released Devontae Parker, re-signed Mike Onwenu, 3 years, $57 million. Signed Jacoby Brissett, 1 year,
I was
$8
gonna
million.
say
He's back,
Brissett went
baby.
back.
He's back, baby. Signed Sion Takitaki, 2 years, $6.5 million. Re-signed Jalen Rager, 1 year, $1.29 million. He was with the Patriots, huh? How about that? And re-signed Josh Uchi, 1 year, $3 million.
Some guys I feel like they underpaid because they're like high volume guys. Like Uche could be really good. He just never really figured it out, but he could be good. Like it's a great contract. Kendrick Bourne probably a little too much.
Yeah,
Hunter
but
Henry probably
I
a
think
little
they
too
paid
much.
Kendrick Bourne that, bro, because I think I was reading something earlier that said they wanted to get rid of Juju and who's the other one?
It was it Myers? Was Myers? No, Myers left, I think.
Kendrick Bourne. Who's the other receiver?
No,
Kendrick
he,
Oh, not
Bourne.
him.
Who? Yeah, Devontae Parker. He just signed with the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that was the other one. They wanted to get rid of Devontae Parker and Juju. I think that's why they paid Kendrick Bourne like that.
Let me cover the New York teams real quick. So the Giants released Mark Glowinski, re-signed Casey Kreider, re-signed Gunnar Olszewski for 1 year, signed John Runyon for 3 years, $30 million, signed Devin Singletary, 3 years, $16.5 million, signed Jermaine Illuminor, 2 years, $14 million, acquired Brian Burns in a trade, signed Drew Lock, 1 year, $5 million, signed Jalen Mills for 1 year, and signed Isaiah McKenzie. Will this finally be the year that Drew Lock comes into his own? Stay tuned.
no, it won't.
He's going to be better than Danny Dimes.
Will he?
Yes, it's Drew Lock.
Honestly, will he? I'm
Yes,
not
it's
big on
Drew Lock.
Daniel Jones. I think he's mid as fuck. Like I think Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback.
Daniel Jones is fucking garbage.
I think he's garbage too. And I think he had 1 year where he kind of sorted out his flaws, and then those flaws came back next year. He can't play. I'd still rather have him than Drew Lock.
As garbage as the guy is, we've never fucking beat him.
Yeah, Burns is a good haul, Alex.
Burns
is a great haul. I'm
Burns
surprised
is a great pickup. Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and what's the other buddy they got?
Aziz? Ajulari?
No. On that defensive line.
Dexter,
oh, we're talking about the interior. Yeah,
Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence. Those three right there, they're gonna be phenomenal.
I'm sorry, Alex. Are you denying our Lord and Savior Drew Lock? Are you saying that Drew? Are you saying that Drew Lock?
One of the few people who's not better than Daniel Jones.
I'll have you know, good sir, that Drew Lock is a proud alumni at the great University of Missouri, and he will not be disrespected in my fucking podcast. If you want to keep your commenting privileges, you will respect Drew Lock as our Lord and Savior.
You should not have asked me to be here.
This will be the year that Drew Lock finally comes into his. If you
don't understand saying that every year.
If you don't understand my fanatical obsession with Drew Lock, guys, just watch old episodes of the podcast. You'll understand why. You'll understand. It's an in joke. The Jets released Malik Hall, released Laken Tomlinson, released CJ Uzoma, re-signed Chuck Clark 1 year, signed Isaiah Oliver 1 year. If I don't mention the money, that means it's not. Re-signed Greg Zuerlein 2 years, $8.4 million. Signed John Simpson 2 years, $12 million. Signed Javon Kinlaw for 1 year. Signed Tyrod Taylor for 2 years, and signed Patrick Queen for 3 years, $41 million. Wait, what?
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, what?
Patrick Queen to the Jet. What?
Wait, what is that? Hold up. Pause.
Hold up.
I heard Steelers.
He is a Steeler. What the?
Wait, I thought he was the Steeler. What's going on here?
This is either a typo by Pro Football Focus or
It is. No, he's
gotta be a typo.
It is. Yeah, Patrick Queen's a Steeler. What the hell?
Man, I got my hopes up again for a second. Fuck that motherfucker. Damn. Fuck. I was like, yay, he's not going to the Steelers. He's going to be next to C.J. Mosley.
Yeah, he's at the
and
Steelers.
Patrick Wasso.
He's on the Steelers. He's on the Steelers. That is
Now,
weird. Pro Football
I
Focus
thought something happened in the time that we started this podcast, and now I'm like, what the fuck?
I was so excited for you. I was just like, wow, he's going to be the 4th Ravens middle linebacker to go to the Jets in like the last 10 years. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
so none of
Fuck
that.
you, PFF.
A mid name. I think he's referring to Drew Lock. You're going to refer to Drew Lock as mid? Thoughts on the Jets?
Deacon's oddly nice to Drew Lock. He called him mid.
Thoughts on the Jets?
I don't really have any thoughts.
I'm mad at them because they didn't get Patrick Queen. Because I don't care about anything else right now.
Let's talk about the Patrick Queen, though. Patrick Queen goes to the Steelers for 3 years, $41 million. Other side, Steelers basically just went Agni Kai and released everybody. They released Mitch Trubisky, Presley Harvin, Chukwuma Okafor,
survive.
Mason Cole, Keanu Neal, Patrick Peterson, Allen Robinson II. I didn't realize the Steelers had all these guys. I'll be honest. Their only signings were Braden Fajoko for 1 year and Cameron Johnston for 3 years, $9 million. And Patrick Queen.
And Russell Wilson.
Oh, and Russell Wilson.
That already makes their offseason good. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure. He's better than any quarterback that's on that roster right now.
He's better than any quarterback they've ever had in the last 20 years.
We've only got a handful more teams to do, guys. San Francisco released Isaiah Oliver, re-signed Colton McKivitz for 1 year, $7 million.
Big Ben has an argument with that. I'm sorry, Isaac, but I had to cut you off because that was just fucking crazy.
Who said? Wait, what? No, what did you say?
He said Russell Wilson is better than any quarterback the Steelers have had in the last 20 years. I just feel like that's disrespectful.
I'm gonna.
That's
walk
disrespectful. I got another one for you. Russell Wilson is objectively less of a rapist than Big Ben. How about that?
Yeah, that's 100%.
So therefore, he's better. Can't say I'm wrong.
Hey, how much more do we have to go? Because I do have to go soon.
Isaac went dead. I don't know.
What the hell?
I don't know. Let me see. Where was he at? Let me just continue. He was.
I stepped away from my computer. Because
no, I said how much more do we have to go? Because I do have to go soon.
Oh, we got like a handful of teams. Niners released Isaiah Oliver, re-signed Colton McKivitz, 1 year, $7 million. Re-signed Brandon Allen. He's on the Niners. Goddamn. Signed Leonard Floyd, 2 years, $20 million. Signed Yetur Gross-Matos, 2 years, $18 million. Re-signed George Odom, 2 years, $10 million.
Wait. I hear you on the bad signing, but I just watched a story about that guy today, and I appreciate that guy a lot. He has fucking heart.
He has so much heart, and he's not a bad player.
The things that man had to overcome in his life, I respect him wholeheartedly.
Yeah, me too. I hope he succeeds. I hope he just develops like the best passer for all time.
Do you know his story, Isaac?
Yetur Gross-Matos?
Yes.
Vaguely. I remember them bringing it up on a college game day once when he was at Penn State.
Yeah, that's a crazy story there.
Seahawks. They released a shit ton of people. Released Will Dissly, Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, Brian Moan, Nick Bellore. Re-signed Noah Fant, 2 years, $21 million, and re-signed Leonard Williams, 3 years, $64.5 million. No pickups in free agency so far for the Seahawks.
I'm surprised they re-signed Leonard Williams that much, just because he wasn't that great for them. But I do believe in him, so I'm not going to say it's bad signing.
Titans re-signed Morgan Cox, 1 year, $1.3 million. Signed Tony Pollard, 3 years, $24 million. Nice.
They still need a fucking quarterback.
They do. Signed Lloyd Cushenberry III, 4 years, $50 million. Signed Chidobe Awuzie, 3 years, and signed Kenneth Murray. I'm bad at names. Give me a break. Our final team, my Bucks. They released Shaq Barrett. Re-signed shut the fuck up. Re-signed Mike Evans, 2 years, $41 million. Franchise tagged Antoine Winfield Jr. Re-signed Baker Mayfield, 3 years, $100 million. Yeah.
Solid moves. Solid moves.
They re-signed.
They need to extend Winfield for sure, and they got to bring Levante David back.
Oh, they did.
They did.
Yeah, they re-signed Chase McLaughlin, Greg Gaines, Chase Edmonds, and Levante David on a 1 year contract.
They've had a good offseason.
They have. The Bucks. They haven't picked up anybody up, but they haven't had to.
They've kept the pieces intact. Yeah.
Well, that'll do it for free agency. And that's going to wrap up today's episode of the Beer Batter Sports Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Most viewed episode ever, by the way. I've been looking at the numbers on the analytics right now. This is the most viewed episode we've ever had. It's also one of our longest episodes. It's going to top out at just over an hour and a half. That's crazy. As always, this show is a proud affiliate of the Fired Up Sports Network. Go follow all their other podcasts. And don't say anything bad about Philadelphia sports. We love them. Yay. You can follow us on all of our socials at @bbsports_pod.
Oh.
Check out our, what the hell? How'd you do
What
that?
was it? I have no
He's
idea.
done that before, I swear.
I think
My best take has been that 40 has superpowers. I've been saying it for like 3 weeks, bro.
With that being said, guys, go check out our Twitter bio for merch. Get yourself one of these sweatshirts, and we will see you guys next week for more free agency talk, and hopefully something crazy happens in the next couple of days. Peace.